Cindy.
Governing.
That's right. Okay, let's get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I forgot. I'm running this today. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all? Will it better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
It will.
All right, let's have a seat. Is it still working? Okay. Let's, who's doing guests today? Oh, Jack. All right, come on up, Adrian.
Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome to our guests, future Rotarians, and those on Zoom. I don't know if we have anybody on the line.
Yes.
Okay.
So you are scraping the bottom of the barrel today, but I was available. However, they also know by certain limitations. So I will now read the list of guests that we have today. Cindy Rold. Thank you. We also have some people here who you may not be familiar with, but they are not guests, they are members. I will not name them, Tim or Greg. So here you go.
Okay, so today is National Peach Day, which I thought was very appropriate since we're picking up our peaches from Conifer tomorrow. So you can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, and there's still going to be somebody who hates peaches. Okay, so as you know, I'm trying to do just our local things, and then next I'll do some district things that are going on. But tomorrow is the Christian Erbig Memorial Scholarship Pickleball Tournament or play, I guess. I don't think it's a tournament. I was all ready to win, but that's okay. Okay, for fun. I know there's quite a few serious fun. I know there's quite a few people going, so that'll be a good day. And then after that is Boogie at the Ranch to benefit Active for All, which is EPRD and their various things that they're having in the community, the playground, I think the stage, there's a lot of stuff going on for EPRD. So hopefully you guys will see you there. And then September 6th, we have the big chili cook-off and the Rotary Wildfire Ready truck will be there. September 20th is recycling day. So everybody make sure that you mark your calendars. I'm sure there'll be a sign up genius going out soon.
Actually, we just edited it yesterday.
Edited it?
Edited it. And should be posted over the weekend.
Okay, all right. So you know that Chris and Jeff are the co-chairs this year. So really sign up. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that Chris.
They're co-chairs.
They're co-chairs.
Yeah.
Okay, and then October 11th is the Rotary District Conference. You can register now, and Cindy actually brought some sheets that with a QR code on there. So please register. It's a fun day. Mindy is the chair. Is that right? Is that your title for it? So let's get out and support Mindy as well. And then October 25th is a WASH Symposium where Kelly is the chair of that. So let's get out and support the WASH Symposium. He was talking about it last night, and there's a lot of great speakers, a lot of good things going on there. The sign up, is that yet or? Okay. Okay, great. And then some highlights from the district. Also tomorrow is Denver Southeast is having their Summer Fest at Curtis Park in Greenwood Village from 5 to 8. That's a fundraiser for them. If you feel like going down the hill and not staying up here for all of our festivities. September 4th is the State of Global Peace Zoom call. You can go on the district website and look at all those calls. September 21st is International Day of Peace. And Bob is not here today. But really let's support the Peace Initiative. He was actually going to do a Pause for Peace, Unfortunately, he had some car trouble last night and he texted me at like 10 to 11. He was still stranded, I think. So hopefully he got home fine. September 28th is Touch a Truck for Clear Creek 2000, and that's from 11 to 2 at the Martin Marietta Wallstrom Quarry. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's some, I looked on their website, there's pictures, and it's this huge truck, and it looks like a lot of fun. So if we can support them, let's do that. All right, here's some sparkle that inspires Rotaries around town. Over here is our board meeting last night that Jen hosted, and we had a great time afterwards, just chatting, getting to know each other better. Over here is Dine Around at Lori Romberg's house, and she did a shrimp boil and just threw it all out on the table. It was so much fun. It was delicious. So we got to go to Dine Around, and poor David, if you see him in both pictures, he's probably sick of seeing me. This is 3 days in a row. So thanks, David, for being nice. Okay, and then we also have the Mountain Music Fest that Michelle Vanags put on last weekend, and Rotary had a table there and worked with the young Rotary group on the dunk tank. So that was really fun. And there were a lot of other people, other Rotarians that volunteered and did some things. And then over here is Mindy and Cindy and Patrice went in their trip to Kenya. So fun times, and I'm sure if you've looked on Mindy's on her Facebook page, she has a lot of great pictures too. It looks like a great trip. All righty, we're ready for Happy Bucks. Do you have a helper?
I do Davis. I recruited Davis to help this morning. And just remember, just because you don't have cash in your pocket doesn't mean you don't get to say what you're happy about. We have our IO Happy Buck envelope that you can take home. So I'm gonna start us off because I'm really happy to have Erica as my pickleball partner tomorrow. We are going to have fun.
Crush it. We're gonna crush it.
We're gonna crush it. Anybody else have Happy Bucks?
All right. Wait, Jen, we have Matt.
Morning. Morning, I'm super happy. I have 100 happy bucks. Last week I woke up to a heart attack, and thank you for the Evergreen Fire and Rescue for getting me down to Lutheran to our procedure and save my life. Here I am.
It's really nice to see you. You both here today from the service trip in Kenya, and the 20 Happy Bucks is going to this powerful building team. I don't know if you saw the video, but they built 16 benches in 2.5 days. I put 3 spurs in. I don't know about you. Thanks, guys.
Good morning. I have 5 Happy Bucks because, speaking of heart attacks, I got everything to work this morning for the very first time.
Wait, and he wasn't going to come, so we're very happy there. Yeah.
Any other Happy Bucks?
All right, guys, thank you. Thanks, David. Okay, next, Jen, Sergeant at Arms, getting to know you, and I can't sing, so I'm not gonna sing.
Sing either, but I am going to introduce you to 2 of our members, and I'd like them to come up, please. Katie and Al. We're gonna get to know them a little bit better this morning. Come on down. I know. You get to know all about you. I was like, oh gosh, what did I sign up for?
No, here, let me mess with that.
There you go. Now yes. No? Oh, no. Okay, well, we'll get started because I'm going to introduce both of these folks to you. Al Steger, you may already know, but I'm going to tell you anyway. He is married, 2 kids, 3 grandkids. He has lived in Evergreen for 16 years. Now he's down the hill in Littleton, where he's been for the last 3 years. And then we've got Katie over here, married, 2 kids. She's been in Rotary for 3 years and have been in Evergreen for 29 years. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys each a few questions. The first job that you ever had. Al?
Okay, the first job I ever had, I worked at the Elks Club in my hometown. I was a chemist. The Elks Club had their own bowling alley, and we won. What we call back in the pits, we'd sit back behind the pins, and there was like a ledge that we would sit on. And there's 2 big levers. Well, the first one put the guard down in front of the pins, and the second one raised the pin rack. And it was hotter than hell back there. I think I drank 4 Cokes. Well, I got to tell you this, I got paid 10 cents a line. I drank 4 Cokes the first time, the first game, I set pins. They were nickel Cokes, so they were only 12 cents, Cokes, but when it cost me 10 cents when I earned 10 cents and spent 20, I figured real quickly, this was not gonna be a lucrative job.
Great, thank you. Katie, what did you do?
My first job as a farm kid in Iowa was walking beans. Anybody know what walking beans is?
Oh.
Some nod here. You have a corn knife and you literally walk down through the bean rows and you cut out the weeds. Now it's all done electronically, but that was my first job and I don't remember how much I made, but it wasn't much.
Oh, my goodness.
Pardon?
Okay, tell us about the most recent kind of big trip that you have taken.
About a year ago, I have a group of friends, my husband and I have a group of friends we travel with, we'd call ourselves the Foxhole Friends. And our latest trip was to Greece and Croatia. It was fabulous.
Great.
Yes, the latest trip I took, significant one, was to France, well, to France and Italy. We went over and spent a few days down in Cinque Terre, and worked our way up to Paris. Spent about 4 or 5 times in the boat. It was fun. I mean, we saw a lot of southern France.
Great. Window seat or aisle?
Absolutely aisle.
Just curious. Favorite movies?
Wizard of Oz.
One thing over the cuckoo.
That's nice.
I used to live in Salem, Oregon, and a lot of it was filmed in Salem, and so many of the locations were just, the scenes were places that were familiar to me. I used to shoot pool in the bar, the bar scene was shot, spent a lot of time in the state mental institution there.
Okay, final question. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, boy. To fly on my own, I fly in planes. A lot of you know I'm a million miler with United, but I'd like to be able to fly without a parachute, without anything else, just fly.
I think it'd be to read minds.
Good. Thank you guys for playing.
Thank you.
All right, one of the things I forgot to mention in my announcements is, the RISE, do you call it RISE Symposium or Leadership? Thank you. That is starting September 20th, and it actually is developing the servant leader, foundational skills to lead, members. And I know a few of you guys have gone through the RISE program. I think Marianne, you went through, Mindy, you just went through it. And so, you do the first and the last, class in person, and then the rest of them are on Zoom. But if anybody's interested in participating in the RISE, program, I will put it in the announcements and you guys can get some more information on it.
It's free.
It's free. Free. Okay, thank you. All right, I have Greg Meyer. I don't know if you guys remember Greg Meyer because he hasn't been here for a while. Yeah.
He looks familiar.
He used to sit at the front
did.
for a year, 2 years maybe.
Did.
So welcome back, Greg.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I know I have not been here for a while, and I'm going to share with you a little bit of why that is. So, my daughter Louise was born last November with a congenital heart defect known as tetralogy of Fallot, as well as a very abnormal aortic arch. My wife and I have had a lot of anxieties and a lot of emotions and things surrounding this. Luckily, she had a surgical repair in May and is doing very, very well. A big reason for that is part of the research done by the Children's Heart Foundation. And so we have chosen to direct a lot of our energy and into something positive, hopefully. And so we've been fundraising for the Children's Heart Foundation. And the Denver Heart Walk is this Saturday, or I'm sorry, this Sunday. So we are sponsoring a walk team for that, and I would very much appreciate your consideration for donations. We're currently leading the entire event in fundraising with our team. And a little bit about what the Children's Heart Foundation, what that research. So a few stats here, about 40,000 babies a year are born with a congenital heart defect. 25% of which will require surgical repair within the first year of life. About 2 to 3 million children living in the US have CHDs. So it is one of the largest defects out there. So if you wouldn't mind considering donating to our walk team, I would greatly appreciate it. Not every family has the happy ending that we have had. And so any funds going towards research can help save babies' lives. So really quickly here, this is our daughter Louise. She's now 9 months old and she's doing absolutely wonderful. And that's a big thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Greg about the walk or, sorry, hey, you don't get away with that.
Yeah.
Where is the walk?
The walk is at Sloan's Lake on sundown. And you don't necessarily have to attend. If you'd like to sign up to be a member of our team, we would love to have you there. We've got a lot of friends and family in town. It should be a wonderful event. If we end up as the highest fundraising team, which we currently are, we get our own tent. So you can come and sit in that tent.
That's intense.
It's very intense. Wonderful. Thank you all for your time and consideration. I'm sorry I haven't been around more. We've had a lot going on, but I'm glad to be back today. Thank you all.
She is adorable. All right. So next, I would like to recognize some of our visitors today. And yes, they are members, but there's still some visitors. So Greg Pod is here. Greg.
Oh, I don't even like it. That'd be great. My name is Greg Pod. I've been a member of this club for, quite frankly, 18 years. I do a significant amount of travel for Rotary International, and I'm currently the vice chair of the Rotary Foundation. So all of my flights take off on usually Fridays, so that's why I'm not able to be here. And we live half of the time in Arizona, and the rest of the time in Dublin. So it's good to be at a club visit, to be honest with you.
Most of you know Tim Grace, but you probably don't know that he's part of the district. Do you want to tell us what you're doing for our district?
Thank you. I was going to mention that my annual pilgrimage to our club is. My apologies. And Cindy has enrolled me to be the chair of her sponsorship committee. So I've taken on that responsibility too, and sponsorship's here too. And we have a new sponsor in Matt, who's going to take Linda's place.
Thank you. All right, so now we are ready to introduce Cindy. Have all of you got a chance to at least say hi to Cindy? I hope you did. Cindy Rold is our district governor. She's the past president of the Littleton Rotary Club and a multiple Paul Harris Fellow, a member of the Paul Harris Society and the Polio Plus Society. She's also the recipient of her club's Service Above Self Award, and she has been a Rotarian for over 10 years. Professionally, Cindy received a law degree from Northwestern and has been a leadership coach for the last 24 years. And outside of work, Cindy is passionate about three things: travel. She's visited over 65 countries in all 50 states, being a fun aunt to 8 great nieces and nephews, and curling up with a good book, preferably a mystery. Now, Cindy, I don't know if you've noticed, but we did try to dress up or have something to represent a lot of countries that either we've been to or that we like. So hopefully we've hit on the ones that you visited. Please welcome Cindy Roll. Oh, here's a few pictures of Cindy from her trip to Africa. And I realized I forgot the announcements, so maybe we'll do those later. Or if you have some, you can give them to Jen.
Okay, thank you all. It is wonderful to be here. And I especially want to thank you because I got to see a beautiful sunrise this morning. I very seldom see sunrises. It is not my time of day, but it was a gorgeous one as I was driving up here. So thanks to your club for making that possible. And I was also going to acknowledge many of the quote dignitaries in the room, but it seems like Erica already did that. So let me just see. Oh, there are 2 assistant governors, Marianne Temple and Bob Bradley. So Marianne and Bob, there they are. Thank you guys for being here. The district conference chair is Mindy Hansen, she mentioned, the district sponsorship chair, Jim Grace, the Watch Symposium chair, Kelly, and of course, our past district governor, Greg Podd, and then also Kurt Harris. So thank you all for being here. Lots of people in your club who are very, very involved at the district and at the RI level, which is great. So you all have a path to follow if you want to do that yourselves. Lots of people you can ask for advice or suggestions, say, how can I get involved and do things? And it's a matter of asking. So 10 years ago, I was invited to lunch by somebody I knew through Toastmasters, not that well, but I knew him. And at lunch, he said, you know, you're really interested in international and travel, and you're really interested in service. I think Rotary would be a great fit for you. And I said, what's Rotary? I'd never heard of it before. And so when I discovered it, I realized he was right. It was a great fit. And so I said yes, and I joined the Littleton Club. And then about a year or 2 in, I was voluntold to be the International Services Chair. And yeah, so I said yes, and I took that on. I had no idea what I was doing. Learned a lot since then. I'd be a far better chair now than I was at that point, but I did the best that I could. And then I was asked to coffee by, again, somebody I didn't know that well. She was a Rotarian. And I showed up at the coffee shop and she was sitting down and I saw another Rotarian from our club in line. I thought, oh, that's a coincidence he's there. No, he was there for a meeting with me too. And they asked if I would be club president. And I had to think about that for a while. And then I said yes to that. And at the end of my presidency, I was in charge of the club's centennial celebration for our 100 years. And that night, at the end of the event, this woman came up to me very excited. She said, Cindy, you would be a great district governor. Would you consider that? And again, I thought about it and I said, yes. Would I have done any of those things without being asked? Maybe the leadership positions at some point, but I wouldn't have done them at that point. It would have taken me a while, and I never would have joined Rotary because I didn't even know what Rotary was. So asking is so important. And I can't tell you how many times I have met Rotarians, both here in the district and in other countries, who have said, I knew about Rotary for a long time. I had a neighbor who was a Rotarian, I had a friend who was a Rotarian, but nobody ever asked me, so I didn't join. And then they asked, and then I thought, okay, I'll join. So for some reason, it didn't occur to them, even though they knew about Rotary, that they could or should join. So ask people, ask. It makes a difference. Even if they say no to whatever you're asking them for, it's going to make them feel good because they're going to feel like they were acknowledged, they were seen, they were appreciated. And so that's one of my messages to you this morning, is to ask people to do things. I am going to talk about Kenya. It was such a wonderful trip. Patrice and Mindy and I were there together. And it was a true example for me of our theme of the year, Unite for Good. Because there were so many ways that we united for good and that we saw that happening there. So at least 20 clubs in our district have participated in some way in a project in Kenya, which is pretty impressive. I don't know if there are other countries where we have that much support. It's possible, but since I was in Kenya, that was what I saw. And imagine being a child getting a pretty big plate of food on a Saturday, and it's perhaps the one meal you're going to get that day and the one big meal you're going to get that week. And you have this plate of food and you have to sit on the ground to eat it. So you're just sitting in the dirt, all these little kids eating their meals. And then imagine that you don't have to do that because there are these wonderful wooden benches and tables that have been built because of the Evergreen Rotary Club. So Mindy and her husband and her son and a family friend built those benches with Kenyans, which was fabulous because the Kenyans got to see what that experience was like and really get that opportunity to build things that they wouldn't have had before. And one of the men working with them, he was so good at what he was doing and so taken by it, he didn't even know what a level was. You know, the level that we use. He didn't know what one was. And he said, how could I get one of those? Well, it's an app on a phone. Well, he didn't have a smartphone. You know, just something so simple that we take for granted that he didn't have. And so we provided that opportunity for them. And more importantly, they got those benches. And these benches are really cool. So imagine here, this is a chair now, so a bench, but this top part folds down and becomes a table so people can still sit here and then they have the table part of it. So they're very versatile. And I've been seeing pictures in the 2 weeks I've been back of people using these, the little kids, the adults, all kinds of people using these. These tables are so well used. And it's again, courtesy of your club because you provided the funding to your president and then she chose that as her project. And I have to say, you're the only club that I have heard of who gives money to the president to put towards a project of their choice, which is pretty unique and pretty special. And I was thrilled to be there and see that bench project happening. So now imagine that you are a young man and you can hear, but you can't speak. And nobody knows why you can't speak, but you can't. And so it makes life very hard. And the unemployment rate in Kenya is very high to begin with. And you have some interest in and perhaps aptitude towards electrical, but you can't afford the course. And imagine how much that course costs for 1 year. What do you think it might cost? $450. That's all. And so he was asking for money for that course. And some people gave him that money so that then he could take it. That's 1 year. It's a 3-year course. They said, we're not asking for 3 years. We're just asking for 1. And then we'll see how it goes the next 2 years. And then that young man, he had an itch on his leg, his mom said. And it turned into something more. So now it's necrotizing fasciitis. We saw pictures. It was really disgusting. But he's getting medical care. And they said, could that scholarship money for the electrical program go towards his medical bills? Because he had no money for that. And we said, of course. And then some generous person stepped up and said, I'll pay his medical bills. So lots of people are helping this 20-year-old man have a better life that he might not have had without it. Now, imagine that you're a student at a primary school, the largest primary school in Kenya, perhaps in all of Africa. You're one of 6,000 students who are attending this school, and you don't have clean water. Every day you go to school, and of course at home, you don't have clean water. And because of the Evergreen Club and 9 other clubs, now you do, because we put in a water filtration system. And this system is so high tech, it was really impressive to see all of the apparatus and hear about how it works. I'm probably not going to do it justice how it really works, but the water comes out of a borehole, it goes into a big tank, and then it goes through 2 different filters, which filter out different things. And then it sits until it's ready for the tap to be turned on. And then it goes through a 3rd filter, which is a UV filter. And so the water that comes out is sweet and clean and fresh. And these kids are so excited. And now they don't have to have stomach upset. They don't have to miss classes because they're not feeling well. They have clean water. And that's because 10 clubs in our district got together and said, yes, we will do this project. And that was a district international grant. It wasn't a global grant. It was $30,000 project. And we got to do the ribbon cutting for it when we were there. One of the things that I saw in Kenya, which of course, hopefully is true in all of our projects, is it's not just what we're giving them. So in this case, it was the water system. And with the benches, it was the benches. It's the education and everything that goes along with it. Because think about it. We start with our little kids from the time they're born, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. It doesn't stop after telling them once. It doesn't stop after telling them twice. We keep telling them until they really get it and they understand why it's important to wash their hands. Well, just giving people clean water, if they don't know why it's important or how to use it, they're not going to. So there's the education piece to it. So at this school in Kibera with the 6,000 students, there is a wash club, and there are 100 students who volunteered to be part of this club. And on a Saturday morning, when not only was it a Saturday, it was the start of their 1-month break. So they weren't going to be going to school for a month, and it was cold out. Everybody thinks it's not cold in Kenya, but it is sometimes. And so here these kids showed up, not all 100 of them, but a good portion of them came because they wanted to be there for the ribbon cutting. They wanted to be part of this process. And we got to talk to them and hear about their experience. And they were so proud of the water and so proud of being members of this wash club. And they said, our job is to teach our fellow classmates about the importance of water, and our siblings and our parents. Because the other great thing about this water is it's not just the 6,000 students at the school, they can take the water home with them. They can bring a clean container and then they can take water home so they have clean water at home for themselves and for their families. And so these kids were there saying, yes, we're supporting this. And we're going to make sure that the pipes don't get broken. We're going to make sure that the filters get changed when they need to be changed. They were there as ambassadors and very excited about this water system that we gave them. So many stories like that in Kenya. There was a club that I visited, just kind of a fun story. And this club starts meeting at 7 o'clock at night, and the meeting ends by 8:30. And at 1 in the morning, week after week, they're still there having fellowship with each other. And in fact, many of the clubs in Kenya, they don't call their meetings meetings, they call them fellowship. And Kenyans do love to interact with each other. So that's a club that really loves their interactions of being there until 1:30 in the morning. And I'll just ask Mindy and Patrice, do you have anything you want to share about the Kenya experience at this point?
I'm gonna talk about the woman. I see her belts. I hope I can start crying. I saw our district governor come alive, a place called St. Paul's Children's Home. We always bring food, we always bring bags full of goodies, healthcare items, things that you help support. And Cindy started looking at the bag and she would pull something out and the kids would literally squeal in delight. A book, sanitary pads, crayons, everything she opened and showed, they would squeal with delight. I saw her dance with these children. I saw her walk through and see the horrific water, sanitation, and hygiene issues that they're dealing with. And I just want to recognize that. It was just from my eyes and watching you just the whole week. Representing our district on the ground at the ribbon cutting, but especially at St. Paul's Children's Home. It was literally magical. So thank you for saying yes to Center Blood Foundation service trip. I know Mary Ward is exactly what you expected for housing, but I love seeing the belt on you, and thank you for being with us today.
I don't know what I'm mad, except if you have the opportunity to go on one of these trips, say yes. It is absolutely life-changing. My son went with us, and I can tell you, we have a child, a 20-year-old child who's grown up in Evergreen. And traveled a lot and seen a lot, but he has a much different perspective on the world right now than he ever has. So if you have the opportunity, say yes.
And that, oh, here's a question here or comment.
I can't believe all this is happening because I remember years ago when I went to Kibera and also near Bonnie, which is the first AIDS orphanage in the world at that time. And I just think the more we can experience other people's situations and travel, and that's what Mark Twain says, it's a bad thing if you don't travel.
Yes. And I'm thrilled to see so many of you with your clothes on and with your name tags with the country. I've probably been to most of the countries that you all have here. Oh, I haven't been to Greece. That's on my list. But yes, travel broadens our horizons, but especially travel to a developing country. A friend of mine, she's traveled quite a bit and she's never been to a developing country and she's very heartfelt. But when I told her about Kenya, she said, I could never go. I said, why not? She said, because it would be too heart-wrenching for me. But you need to have your heart wrenched. You need to see it for yourself, not just the pictures. And I'm sorry, I don't have pictures. I've actually been sick since I got back from Kenya. So still really struggling with that. I haven't eaten for the last week, basically. So anyway, that's why I don't have pictures. That's my, that's my excuse. Yes, yes. The elephants were great fun. That was super fun to be able to pet those elephants. But anyway, and the middle picture is we went to a Maasai village and we brought loaves of bread. And this was a Rotarian in Kenya who did this, and juice boxes. And it was just to give out to the kids. And so we started out with 4 slices of bread for each kid, just white bread. Oh my God, you would have thought it was manna from heaven. And then more kids kept coming and more kids kept coming. I had to keep reducing the amount of bread that I was giving to each kid because there just wasn't enough. And then ultimately we ran out. But those are the kids there, just very excited to get that bread. Very polite, but very excited and wanting to make sure they got theirs. And back to the orphanage. So what they particularly got excited about, those kids, when we showed them, were the balls. So 2 soccer balls, they were like, oh my God, the roof just rose with their yells. And then there was 1 basketball, and then there was 1 bigger ball that was from Mindy's
High school robotics team.
the high school robotics team. And they, oh my gosh, they just went wild with excitement. And we brought a pump, so we pumped the balls up, and then they played with them the whole time we were there. But talking about a great need, we saw, you know, it's a small orphanage. There's 30 kids there right now. They could have 56, but they are really struggling, so they can't take any more. And we saw the girls' dorm. So up on the 2nd floor, there's a girls' dorm. It's fine. I mean, it's very basic, but just bunk beds and all of that. And then next door to it is the washroom. Well, everything in that washroom is broken. The sinks don't work, the toilets don't work, and the showers don't work. So they've got nothing up there. So these girls, if they have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, they have to go down a spiral staircase and then walk across. It's not very far, but still they have to walk across the compound and use the latrine over there and then go back up and climb up that spiral staircase in the dark. And then for bathing, they go and they get a bucket of water and they bring the bucket of water upstairs to the shower, and then they splash themselves with the water and then they take the bucket back down. So pretty bad conditions there. And we're looking at how we can help them get that washroom fixed, because obviously those are horrible conditions. Nobody should have to live like that. I also went out to Western Kenya for 3 days at the beginning of the trip. That was just on my own to see projects that our district has done out there. Carol Carper, many of you know her. She was a member of this club for many years, and then 5 years ago moved permanently to Kenya. And so I actually stayed in her home for a night and saw some of the projects that she's been doing. And on the first day, it was a health project. So there are 26 schools involved in this project, and they pick a boy and a girl from each school to be the WASH champions. And they go 1 Saturday a month for the whole day to get training. But training is not like this, where somebody's standing up in front of them. Training is they're in a big horseshoe and then they're the ones who are getting up and training each other. And to see the confidence of these kids, to see how they were able to talk about things like condoms and menstruation and all of that in front of this group of kids, it was quite impressive. And then each of those schools has a wash club. So those kids go back to their wash club and then they train them each month on what they learned on that Saturday. And then those kids spread it out to the rest of the school. So it's a great project. Carol is doing many, many great projects over there. That's just one example. And I was so pleased to be able to see that and to finally meet Carol after having heard about her for so many years, but never having met her in person. And she's still doing well. She's got some hip problems and they won't replace her hip over there. But she thinks if she was here, they would. It's just a matter of getting here. So anyway, but she sends her regards to everybody and she's doing great. So all those examples of uniting for good, and whether, you can see here a green banner and a blue banner, both say unite for good. What's the difference? Well, we changed presidents 2 weeks before the International Convention. But regardless of who the president is, the message is still the same for the year. And it doesn't matter who the president is because Rotary is bottom up. I mean, yes, the people at the top matter, but really what matters is what we're doing in our clubs. And you all are doing amazing things. I mean, the energy in this room is just palpable. And the fun in this room. I love visiting clubs and seeing those who really have fun. They really like each other. And this is obviously one of those clubs. Yes. So anyway, we did have a change in president and we have a change in the next president. Sen Kuyan was the Rotary International President-elect. He had to resign due to pancreatic cancer. So now we are looking for the next one. And just like we did when Mario resigned, the board of Rotary International goes back to the people who were interviewed at the time, asks if they're still interested, re-interviews, and then select somebody from that group. So there will be a new one, perhaps on the 28th of this month. It'll be very soon that we will have the next president. And the one after that has been selected, Larry Lunsford from the US, from Missouri. His health seems just fine and he's doing great. So anyway, just wanted you to know that's what's happening at the RI level. Again, it matters, but it doesn't really matter in terms of what we're doing. We still get to unite for good. We still get to do all the good that we are bringing to the world. August is membership month, and I know August is almost over, but I'm still going to issue this challenge for you to do in August, and then for you to do each month after that for the year. There are 3 things that I'm going to invite you to do. Going back to my theme of asking, I'm going to ask you to do these things, and imagine what a difference it will make if each one of you does each of these 3 things every month. And they're very simple. The first one is check in with a member. So Erica mentioned there are some members here today who don't usually come. If you haven't seen somebody for a while, pick up the phone, give them a call, send them a text, do something to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Not, oh my God, you haven't been at meetings in forever. What's wrong? But just checking in. How are you doing? I was thinking about you. It's a wonderful way to let them know that you're thinking about them, that you noticed that they weren't here and that you care. The second one is invite somebody to join an activity. That could be a non-Rotarian or it could be a Rotarian. And if it's a non-Rotarian, don't invite them necessarily to a meeting. We often think, oh, they should come to a meeting. Invite them to a service project. Invite them to the chili cook-off. Invite them to a fundraiser. Invite them to something where they'll more be able to see what your club is all about and get inspired by that message and then maybe want to join. Don't ask them just because you want them to join, but it's a good way to get them in, and invite members to do things as well. If you haven't seen a member for a while, invite them to do something. And then the third thing is to appreciate someone. We all love to be appreciated. So find somebody that you can appreciate for something and just tell them. Tell them what you appreciate about them and do those 3 things. You got about 10 days left in this month, and then you've got next month and the month after that. So check in, invite, and appreciate. Those are the 3 things that can make a big difference if you do them. In terms of district news, you heard, Erica, you did a great job of talking about all of the upcoming district events that we have. And of course, Mindy will be promoting the district conference heavily as chair of it. And thank you, Mindy, for taking that on. I am very excited about the district conference because the theme, I always kind of forget the exact words, building stronger connections, fueling impact, but it's related to that uniting for good. And what we'll be doing, everything at that conference is designed to help you meet people from other clubs, to get inspired, to think about, okay, what else can we do? How else can we be engaged? Because I'll tell you, from visiting all the clubs here and in Kenya and in other places I've been, we're all different. And that's great. But we can learn from each other. We can say, okay, what are some strengths that they have that we perhaps don't have? What are some interesting things that they're doing? That getting to know you, I thought was very interesting. I'm going to bring that back to my club and say, you know, that'd be a fun way to do something like that. And so you just get ideas by meeting people. So go to the district conference and meet people. Don't just talk to people from your club, as wonderful as you all are. And it's going to be designed so that you will be talking to people from other clubs. So October 11th, it's only $50. It's going to be a great, great day. And I really encourage you to come to that. And then we talked about the Rise Leadership Academy and the WASH Symposium, all things that the district is offering for you, all for your benefit. And I hope that you take advantage of them. We also mentioned Tim Grace with the sponsorship committee. So that's something new this year, that we're having a district sponsorship committee and looking for ways to get more businesses to sponsor our district so that then we can do more good in the world. So if you've got ideas, tell Tim. Another thing that we're doing this year is we're looking to establish a service committee. So if any of you are interested in being part of a district-wide service committee, let me know. And a PR committee. We've always had a PR committee, but we had the chair resign recently. So we're restructuring that committee. And if any of you are interested in being on the public relations committee, if you've got any skills or interests in that area, let me know, because we would be happy to have you be part of that. There are lots of opportunities to be involved at the district level. So if there's anything that you're passionate about, let me know and we can find a place for you. We can definitely find a place for you. We need all of your talents. We need all of your skills. We need all of your engagement. Because you might think, I love my club and I love being engaged in my club, but I want to do something a little bit more. I want to do something a little bit different. So the district is a way to do that. Or maybe the zone. So our district is part of paired zones, and there's 30 districts in those zones. And so there are opportunities to get involved at the zone level as well. And then of course the RI level, lots and lots of opportunities for you to stay engaged as a Rotarian. And one of the questions that I like to ask people is not just when did you join Rotary, but when did you become a Rotarian? Because there's a difference between the two. All right, I see a nod over here from France. Sorry, I don't know your name. Tell us your story. Erica's going to bring you a microphone. When did you become a Rotarian? Yeah, it's on.
This is such a great question, and I've been saying, how long have you been in Rotary? That seems so obvious, but it's when you get involved that's really important. So as a membership chair here at this club, I think I love that, and that's my new question. I thank you. That's wonderful.
Okay, but share your story.
I have been in Rotary, thanks to Carolyn, for 2 years.
Okay.
And I think I kind of jumped in. I am of the mindset that you get out of things, church, school, relationships, whatever. You get out of it what you put into it. So I just kind of dove right in and started coming early and setting up, and now here I am. So I think that's a really great point, a great question, and thank you.
All right. Who else would like to share when they became a Rotarian?
I've been around a long time.
Yes, but when did you become a Rotarian? Not join Rotary. Yeah.
So involved in Haiti, 23 years. I went back to school when I was 60 and got my nursing.
Wow.
So I could be more efficient in Haiti. And I have been to African Cabral and have done that with other Rotarians. I just think that we can't really, what we have in Haiti is a saying, you don't, if you can't be there, you don't understand it, your heart doesn't move. And so therefore, when you go to these places, Guatemala, all these places, that's when you begin to realize. So I was in Vega, I'm on the international committee. And we met, this past Thursday night. And, we have a new international global grant coming up for mental health in Uganda. We don't realize how important this is for people there, and I want us all to realize that our world, we've got to really touch each other in many ways. And one of the ways is our presence.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I am, oh, one more.
Even though I've been involved a lot in national things, the question was, when did you become a Rotarian? Well, I joined the role about 28 years ago to meet people. And moved here from the Chicago area, and I just wanted to get connected. And I wanted to be more connected to things that were going on in Evergreen. And so I attended the meetings. But I didn't become a Rotarian until I participated in some of the local things that we did. We sponsored an Easter Seal cabin at the Easter Seals camp. And it was time to redo all the floors and all the bathrooms. So I went up on different Saturdays and worked with people doing that. I volunteered over at the jazz festival whenever the little local things were going on. And that's when I became a Rotarian and eventually got more involved, but started out with little things, getting to know the people in the club. And I still have such fond memories of some of those people who you worked alongside, whether it was ringing the bell up at the Walmart for Salvation Army, or whether it was trying to put in the floor for some organization that we were helping to support.
Thank you so much. All right, so that is what I have to share. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has. Oh, we got.
Well, we're gonna model one of the things you asked us to do, which is appreciate. So we want to appreciate you, District Representative. So first of all, I need all the past presidents up here to help me appreciate right now. Anybody who's been a past Rotary president, come on up.
You're gonna take pictures.
Anytime. So for new members, that's a lot of us. You're gonna see this. All right, I have all past presidents of Rotary, and of course, you're gonna need a kazoo, so get ready. But before we do that, we want to appreciate you and thank you for your international service. So guys, how many people in this room have a passport? Raise your hand. I see everyone has a passport. Only 51% of Americans have a passport. So the fact that we're here really models Rotary International. That international is part of our name. So we want to appreciate you for your, oh, you're gonna need one too. You're gonna want to open it. You're gonna need one for this is, you're gonna model your international Rotary good work. We thank you, Cindy, for your vision. There's some binoculars. We thank you for your daring safari spirit. There's a hat. You lose track of where you want to go next, we have a blow up world. You'll notice though that it was out of the package this morning, so no one else has used that world. Teach all of the children that you impact. We have a little globe country finder here.
All right.
Yeah, this is nice. It's very coveted.
Wow, look at that.
Because you are the sunshine for so many in our districts and your family. Here's your sunshine boa.
Wow. I can tell you, I've never had this before.
Oh, this is an evergreen welcome. And you have a sunshine scepter.
Wow.
Right now, do we have a presentation? Yeah, or not yet, or You wanted to come up.
Keep doing this.
Keep on with this, okay? Because this is our tradition. So look how many past presidents we have up here. Let's give them a round of applause. So Tom, what year were you past president in?
1997.
1997, absolutely. So he was a charter member and our, shall we say, our longest president in this great lineup. So Cindy, you're gonna need to unwrap your kazoo because
It's
they're going
unwrapped.
to, okay, they're going to serenade you with You Are My Sunshine, of course. So for the folks who need a little kazoo lesson, let's come into it at count of three. 1, 2, 3. Everybody's kazoo work. All right, so Tom, can you lead us in You Are My Sunshine? Delegate that. Yes, we're gonna delegate You Are My Sunshine to Erica. Thank you. On behalf of our club, we have Around the World in 80 Spiritual Places. Some may spur your next trip, as well as some Joy for the Journey luggage tags. So with
Wow.
that, thank you, Cindy,
Wow.
for your leadership and for your love of
Thank
all
you,
things
thank
that
you.
unite us for good.
Thank you.
And stay right here.
Can we get that, wait, don't go away. Can we get the past presidents in more of a group? More of a huddle for a picture? Come in, not a line, but more of a. Come on, Greg.
The Dollar Tree store will never be the same.
Want a picture? Nice excuse, Mary Ann. I know.
You need to scoot down.
One more.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good
to see you.
Thank you so much. This is great.
Thank you.
And looks like you're.
Board Health and Lunch Committees, we appreciate all your updates. Come back anytime. And for speaking with us, we will donate 60 vials of the polio vaccine in your name.
Thank you.
So thank you. Okay, you guys, stay put if you don't mind.
I forgot the general announcements and I know that, but we have one big announcement I want to get through before we leave today.
Well, good morning, Evergreen Rotary. Our club has a tradition that began, I don't know, about 10 years ago, where we have a trophy that we pass on to the next couple that has celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. And we discovered after I received this a year ago that we missed Bob and Carol Rose. They had a 50th anniversary about a year and a half ago. And I was hoping he'd be here so I could at least let him touch the trophy. But unfortunately, he's not here. So the next one in line, at least I think the next one in line, is Greg and Pam Pod. They celebrated their 50th last week. So it's my honor, absolute honor and relief to pass this wonderful trophy on to Greg and Pam Pod. Oh, and it does light up.
You know, I am so glad that we celebrated last week because Pam's really going to appreciate this in our homes.
Anyway, if you've got a 50th wedding anniversary coming up soon, send your information to me for the next.
Oh,
if it's the next couple of years, so we make sure we don't.
This one, okay.
I have to ask, what day
Oh.
of August? Oh, my goodness.
You only get it for a week?
Yeah, no, I get it for 20 days. Good, Pam will never know.
Okay, anybody after Sue, let me know so I can get that list so we don't miss anybody, okay?
Saved me. You actually saved me. You really saved me.
Hey, this is an honor.
No, I can't tell you how honored I am.
It looked really good in my closet.
Thanks, Kirk.
Okay, thanks. Eric.
Appreciate it. Oh, my
Thank you,
God.
guys.
There you go.
Thanks, Cindy and everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your day and weekend, and please go out and unite for good.
Hannah Holtz, and I know Tim Egan was on.
Adrian was on, she usually makes other people down in the front. I don't know if she was or not.
Yeah, everybody else is going. Sorry about that. I wish I had known. All righty.